people find her frightening. Like Boromir calls her a witch. She's she's seen as like this frightening sorceress. She's got an edge to her and she can be frightening. And I love frightening women.
So I wanted to start off by saying Sophia, Disa is an incredible character and instantly likable. She's hilarious, loving, elegant, and strong, but not without a sly, ambitious side. And I'd like to point out she actually discovered Mithril, so her impact on Middle-earth is immeasurable. What aspects of Disa were you hoping really came through to the audience?
No! You just answered the question with the question.
No!
All of the above. I think at the moment, I feel like we're in a time where what is it to be like a strong woman or a strong, female character in whatever form or way, or whether it be reality, on screen, off screen. And it's almost like we're I think as a society, or many of us try to pocket, right, it's to advocate for ourselves, it's to be tough, it's to be, it's to be undeniable in this. And actually, for me, being a woman and Disa, which are now kind of two combined, is being absolutely okay with whatever the moment is in that time. It's being okay with whatever you feel or you see in any given moment. Everything that is a woman, there's so many facets. We cry, we laugh, we're strong, we're warrior-like, we crumble, we're frightened, we're fearless, and I think I wanted to show a female dwarf in every single moment of glory and pain and frustration and hilarity. And it sounds like, from your perspective, which is all I need, that some of that came across.
Yes, I think you crushed it. And I think that Disa really has just elevated the entire conception of Middle-earth dwarves.
Oh, wow! Thank you very much. Thank you so much for saying that. That means the world.
So of course you wouldn't have chosen Durin if he wasn't a good egg too. And I think he's actually one of the finest examples of masculinity on our screens right now. He's fierce but soft. He's not afraid to cry. And he can even admit when he's wrong. Do you think Durin knows those are his greatest strengths?
No, I think he's still trying to discover himself, which makes him I think that makes all of us a better person. If we think we know everything, then we're wrong. So he's still learning, and he's got a lot to figure out as well. He's learning so much about himself. Luckily, his marriage with Disa and their relationship is solid, and therefore he can lean on Disa, and he'll be pushed by Disa. He'll be steered by her to point him in the right direction, and he's got a good heart. I think he follows his heart a lot, and he's always searching to do the right thing.
I think it's really important what you said as well, Ro, in that what's brilliant about Owain and Durin is that they are an extraordinary example of male kind of strength and power, in that the most powerful of a man will never dim a woman's light in order for theirs to shine. They have enough strength and security within them, knowing their position of privilege, to be able to share that light and open the door for the next person to come through. And both Owain and Durin have that in abundance. So yeah, we're very, very lucky.
Thank you for that. It's a really nice thing to say.
True, innit?
I think that the relationship between Disa, Durin, and Elrond is also a very beautiful one. Disa clearly knows that Elrond means a lot to her husband. Durin wants to share his secret name with Elrond and embrace him. Do you think they've created kind of a found family? And what do you think the significance of the relationship is to both your characters?
I think for me, the significance is knowing my husband and knowing how much Elrond means to him, and knowing that has always been kind of a hole where Elrond should have been throughout our time together. She knows that of him. And so I think the relationship for Disa to Elrond is knowing Elrond through the eyes of her husband. And so she's so excited to see him because she knows what that means for him, but she also knows because she knows him so well because of Durin, so she's really excited for that. And also, if we lean a tiny bit on her ambition, she knows what, from a liberal point of view, that she's kind of going down. what the allyship of that relationship could mean for Khazad-dûm. So I think there is a little bit of a flare of excitement for her, for that relationship, I think.
I think that relationship with Elrond, it's love. It's just that's what it is. They are in love with each other, and they love their differences and they hate their differences, but they love it. When he does finally come 20 years later and they instantly hit it off, that's what I like. There's a real depth to that friendship and marriage and the trio. I think that blossoms and there's a lot of layers to it. That's really exciting to play. Really exciting. And Rob being the wonderful man that he is as well.
If we ask Durin and Disa why the elves are the best part of Middle Earth, what do you think they would have to say to that?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if they'd have to agree with that. And I don't think they would. He doesn't fully trust them, but he trusts Elrond. And therefore that's a gateway into forming a relationship there. But I mean, would you think that?
No. I stand by my husband on this.
Yeah. Galadriel is a fascinating character, one of my favorites. She strives so hard for her idea of righteousness that her strict definitions of good, evil, and morality sometimes make her akin to a villain. How does it feel to play a character that so deftly straddles these two extremes?
Oh, great question. Really fascinating. And I think also kind of it shows that you can't ever just think, I'm a good person. You have to kind of water your goodness and your care for others. And I think that that was really interesting to explore, that kind of if she didn't make sure that she was doing that, she can be dangerous.
Yeah.
I find that is very pertinent for people as well.
Galadriel also openly rages against the enemy, but it seems to me like the person she's maddest at is almost always herself. Why do you think she's put so much on her own shoulders? So
Galadriel has experienced a lot of grief, and also her family have done a lot of things wrong. And I think, we're kind of, as human beings now, kind of looking at history and seeing what responsibility we have for stuff that happened in the past, quite rightly. And Galadriel actually was there. She was part of it. And so she carries a huge weight of kind of mistakes and harm. And so I think that she needs to go through this period of self-loathing to learn and to ultimately be better.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of that kind of self-loathing she carries, I feel like another interesting thing about Galadriel is that she's like really self-assured and self-confident. Sometimes she's just like, I know what I'm doing. Only I know what the right thing is. But sometimes she seems just like really lost and super lonely. Do you think she really believes there's any kind of peace waiting for her that can even exist? And do you think she kind of fears peace almost?
Yeah, I don't think she feels that it's truly possible for her, so she can't aim for it, because then it would be too devastating if she didn't find it. I think also she's become, through her grief, which I think is something so sad, that is what happens to us when we're really sad, is that we become isolated. We isolate ourselves because we can't see anything but our own pain. And that's a dangerous place to be in. It's a dangerous place to make decisions in. What's so exciting about Galadriel is that should she go dark, she'd be so devastating. And I think a big part of that is like she can't be alone. The kind of community that she ends up with in Lothlorien, and her husband in Lothlorien, is like a massive part of who she is. She's meant to live in a community. She's isolated herself.
Do you think she's like actively looking for that community, and that's kind of why she fell in so fast with Halbrand? Or do you think she's still at a point where she thinks she can go it alone?
I think she's wanting to feel anything but pain. And I think Halbrand, briefly, through kind of the possibilities of what he offers, and that he's vibey, like there's something going on with him. She briefly feels something other than the pain. And that's quite enticing. So I make bad decisions when we're sad.
It's true. Not even immortal elves exempt from that. What is one sort of aspect of Galadriel that you think that for yourself is really important in understanding her, but you don't think is like acknowledged so often by viewers or fans?
I don't know. I think that both of us, I think I need to learn to control my temper a bit, and so does she. I'm not quite as devastating. But I think that's also quite interesting about the elves, because I don't think they don't kind of make themselves kind of palatable and nice in the same way that humans do. So that was quite fun. I think something with Galadriel that I feel really passionate about is that, like, people find her frightening. Like, Boromir calls her a witch. She's she's seen as like this frightening sorceress. She's not just kind of like, I'm so lovely. She's got an edge to her and she can be frightening. And I love frightening women.
I love it too. I don't think there's any greater compliment than being called a witch. I strive for that. If we sat Galadriel down and we twisted her arm and we said, why are the dwarves the best part of Middle Earth? What do you think she could say to that?
I think, why are the dwarves the best part of Middle Earth? I think the dwarves are truly joyful. And also they're like made of the earth, aren't they? So they are Middle Earth in so many ways. Yeah.
I love that. None of the dwarves agreed to answer. None of the actors. They were like, no, dwarves are the best. That's it. Elves don't.
I mean, Owain lives as, he is a dwarf. He is so joyful.
And do you think she could give an answer if we asked why orcs were?
Why orcs?
Yes. Like if she had to say why they were the best parts of Middle Earth, do you think she could give any kind of answer? I
don't think she could do that.
Now she draws the line. Yeah. Thank you so much. And I'm very excited to see where Galadriel heads in the next great adventure of season 2. And hopefully we can chat again soon.
Yes, that'll be exciting.
Thank you.